Growing up, I split time between my mom's house, her mom's house, and my dad's father's house. That was the brighter side of life. I thank God for it, for his strength during the times when I wasn't able to be a child. During the assault of an 8-year-old me by that female cousin who wasn't much older, to being assaulted at my aunt's house by another youth member. This experience was the catalyst, I think, of me stepping back from Christ. Shortly after COVID lockdown ended, I met the man who would be my husband. We got married early on in the relationship, and very subtly there were changes. 3 years ago, I had a stomach concern that turned out to be a large medical dilemma. The doctor found out I had a very large cyst, or fibroid, the size of a 3-month-old baby. There were a lot of complications during surgery. Before I woke, I could feel myself slipping away. I gave up the reach and prayed to God to have his way. And all the time after surgery, I felt the Lord calling to me. When he would speak, I would share it with my husband. Those conversations did not go over well.
I grew up on a tobacco farm in Kentucky and continue to work in the agricultural industry today, so attending church here on a tobacco farm has always felt natural to me. When I graduated high school, I moved to Lexington and began attending the University of Kentucky. After about 5 years, I accepted a position that moved me back south to Kentucky, and then something absolutely wonderful happened. I was introduced to Jenna. About 5 years later, we were blessed with our daughter, Maddie. Fast forward another 4 years, and we were blessed with the arrival of our son, Lincoln. Our family went through quite a scare in October of 2019. After not feeling well for a couple of weeks, I took Jenna to the emergency room. It turns out that she had a 99% blockage in her widowmaker. She was told that she really shouldn't be alive after that, which was very disturbing for us to hear. At the end of Lincoln's 8th grade basketball season, he developed a strange limp that progressively got worse. After several trips to several doctors and specialists, he was finally diagnosed with CRMO, which is a rare form of osteomyelitis.
I was raised in a Christian background, but went to church only a little when I was young, that I can remember. When I was younger, I struggled with intrusive thoughts and didn't really understand why. Although the intrusive thoughts eventually went away, when COVID had happened, everything locked down, they came back and worse. I struggled with a bit of depression and a lot of anxiety, and even more intrusive thoughts about things that I knew I would never do. I didn't know the meaning of life at the time and wasn't surrounded by the best group of friends, which ultimately allowed the devil to place suicidal thoughts in my mind for a short period of time. My own mind had felt like a jail cell. During COVID, my mom answered many of my deep questions, and she prayed and pointed me to Jesus. I remember countless nights crying in my bed, asking God to take the thoughts out of my mind and for him to give me peace. Although I don't remember the exact date that I got saved, I remember a night in my bed looking at the ceiling praying, deciding I wanted to follow Jesus and declaring that he was Lord. I remember being freed from it all and finally having peace in my mind and being overwhelmed with the Holy Spirit. Since then, Jesus has completely changed my life, and I don't think I'd be alive without him or have discovered many of the things that I now love. I now understand the meaning of life, which is to glorify God and to grow closer to Jesus.
I believe that my first visit to HopeFront, Pastor Matt was preaching a sermon series called Hope Again. Every part of it resonated with me. As I kept coming to church here at HopeFront, I started having many breakthroughs. It felt like someone had covered me with a clay mask and was breaking through the hard shell and pulling it off piece by piece. And after joining one group, I joined another. I even signed up for a Serve Day project. God was providing in so many ways. I had a peace, but more breaking was needed. A few days later, my husband sent me a text stating that he was done and it was over. I was at work at the time. It hurt, but I was also at peace. I felt God guiding me to accept his decision.
Prior to beginning treatments for his condition, he and I walked up front after a Sunday morning church service so he could be prayed over. After a few infusions and a prescribed medication, the limp went away and he was back on the football field doing what he loves. Our God heals, and again, we continue to give him all the praise. Soon thereafter, Lincoln began staying after the first service to serve as a greeter. Not much later, I began to serve during youth nights, and today you will see Jenna, Lincoln, and I serving as greeters during the 11 o'clock service. I have grown so much in my faith as a member of HopeFront Church. I now understand that Jesus wants me to have a personal relationship with him. Church is not a rigid place with a bunch of rules. We began being obedient with our tithes several years ago and have been blessed many times by doing so. The more obedient to God that we are, the more He pours out His blessings upon us.
I've been going to what's now HopeFront since 2022, and I've learned much more about God through the summer internships. But the biggest thing that HopeFront has helped me to do is branch out and not let always being comfortable control me. For instance, I'm no longer scared to raise my hands in worship or sing in church, and ironically, I've even joined the worship team. I've also learned what it means to serve others. This started from being in small groups and serving in serve projects, and that we are truly made for more than ourselves. I've also gained a family of believers who support me in and outside of church, whether it's coming to a game, birthday parties, or going to Bible studies with me.
I thank all the women in my group who gave a listening ear, never judged me, and supported me with love and genuine care. I've come so far from where I started. Nobody told me the road would be easy, and I truly don't believe He's brought me this far to leave me. I once had to ask permission to even attend church. I'm now in a couple small groups. I serve, I greet people with a smile as I am, and I have some really good people all around.
We have witnessed miracles, healing, and the power of prayer. Serving in God's house truly is an honor. Your relationship with God is like any other relationship. The more you put into it, the more you get out of it. Our God is loving, caring, and has done so much in my life. And He's not done yet.
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. I didn't create it. He gave it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away.